Hey guys and gals, this is Zaphras, and this is my totem, Molten Blast Ranger Deadeye. As we level this character, we're going to be using the FUB gun guide for lightning arrow and lightning rod leveling of the Deadeye, mainly because we will be hitting a lot of projectile nodes before any totem nodes. And as we go through the axe, you're going to want to be checking vendors for potential upgrades on bows, but also on plus melee skill items such as gloves, amulets, and maces. When you're doing boss fights in the lightning arrow build, or the leveling version of that build, you're going to want to lay down as many lightning rods as you can up until the time we get Orb of Storms. Then we'll be able to activate the lightning rods with the Orb of Storms, but it's a good shotgun mechanic for leveling. Escape shot is going to be useful for repositioning, however, overall, it's not entirely useful until you get Holy Descent, in which case you can get a lot of regen from it. Still, as we're going through the axe, you want to continuously check the vendors for both the melee skills and increases in damage on your bows. Killing Balboa on this build can be quite difficult because you have to position your Orb of Storms and lightning rods, so you can either over level it or skip it.
Not today.
I started running into DPS problems in Act 2. Mainly because I wasn't checking vendors or picking up loot. I was just trying to rush through. Definitely check vendors, make sure you're upgrading your weapon. For the first ascendancy, I recommend taking Gathering Winds for Tailwind. Once you get Freezing Salvo, link it up with Hourglass and go ahead and use that on any unique or rare enemies you come across. In the footage you can see I'm not using it, and I could have made a lot of fights easier by using that. With your second ascendancy point, I recommend taking Point Blank for extra damage. Around Act 4, we can take our dive into the totem build. It is good to place your totems in the circle of flame to add some fire damage. Apply Font of Life to your solar orb, along with maybe some clarity. And yeah, we're pretty much set to build for the totems now. I did use Dust Bloom while I was leveling this character. It was incredibly useful with fragile regrowth. You're staying away from the monsters anyways, and you have a lot of evasion, so you can keep those up quite frequently. Basic rotation on this build starts to be doing Flame Wall, putting down your solar orb for regeneration, and using the curse flammability whenever you can. Otherwise, just keep as many totems up as possible and keep them as close to your target as possible because of point blank.
Shall remain.
As you get into maps, eventually you're going to want to make the switch from one-handed maces over to two-handed maces. In order to do this, we'll use soul cores of Cholotl and soul core of Xantippe, and then hopefully we'll have enough strength by then. Don't neglect your defenses or upgrades. This breach shows kind of the decent clear speed that we'll get with this build. It's pretty good, and at this point I hadn't realized that fire penetration wasn't doing me any good, so I was actually down a socket on the totem build. So realizing that fire penetration at this point wasn't actually helping my DPS was very beneficial. Once we got past that, it started doing a heck of a lot more DPS as well. Started clearing a lot quicker, got more gear. Ritual is the worst content to do on this build because it'll get rid of your stacks extremely quick and they all spawn on top of you. So good luck with that.
There for too long, challenger.
Not as impressive as me.
Once you switch over to blood magic, time of need becomes quite important. So you'll see here getting lower duration on time of need is very important. The other portion of this is we want a Zeri's Disdain as soon as possible in order to buffer our health and to make sure that we're not getting one shot.
Will you prove to be food or fatal? And go.
Thank you guys for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And I, of course, appreciate anyone who subscribes to my channel. It really helps out. And I'll catch you guys on the next build.